para bailar la bamba que necesito una poca de gracia para mi patilla y arriba, ay arriba y arriba, por ti seré, por ti. Family is the most important thing to Mexicans. They're very big on unity. Traditionally, extended family would live all under one roof with a male lead or the household, normally a father or a grandfather. In modern times, nuclear families, the parents and the offspring, are more commonly seen with an increase in female leads in the household. Mexican style houses are often heavily influenced by Mediterranean and Moorish styles. You can see this in the arches and the tiles. The walls are typically stucco plastered terracotta, whitewashed, or vibrant colored with lime based paints. Mexicans love celebrations and festivals. Two of their festivals include Cinco de Mayo and Navidad, or Christmas. Cinco de Mayo commemorates Mexico's difficult victory over the French and is celebrated with parades, food, music, and dancing. To Mexicans, Christmas is one of their biggest celebrations and is celebrated from December 12th to January 6th. Christmas is the most important because Catholicism is the main religion in Mexico. Around 81% of Mexican families identify as Catholics. Mexicans are also superstitious and have many legends. One very popular legend is the legend of La Llorona, or the Crying Woman. The legend says that there once was a beautiful woman in a small village. Everyone far and wide knew of her beauty, and one day a rich man who was passing through met her and made her his bride. The two were happily wed and had 2 children. The rich man would often leave for business trips. When he would return, he would bring his wife and children beautiful gifts. As time went on, he returned less and less and started to ignore his wife. Eventually, he stopped bringing his children gifts. One day, he didn't return from a trip that he left on. His wife was heartbroken, but carried on life as usual. Years later, the man returned to the village, but with another woman. This woman was younger and more beautiful than his wife. The wife was blinded by fury and sadness and took her children to a river. There she threw them into the rushing waters. It wasn't until after they had drowned that she had even realized what she had done. Overcome with guilt, she threw herself into the river as well. Parents tell their children that if they are by the river at night, La Llorona will find them, and thinking that they are her children, she will take them away. Music is a big part of the Mexican culture. Mexico is the country that exports the most entertainment in the Spanish language. One very popular artist from Mexico is Carlos Santana. Santana was born in Atulan de Navarro, Mexico in 1947. His music is a combination of Latin rock, blues, and jazz. He can play guitar, drums, and sing. Some of his most popular songs are his cover of Fleetwood Mac's Black Magic Woman, Smooth, and Soul Sacrifice. A traditional part of Mexican music is the mariachi bands. Mariachis date all the way back to the 18th century and originate from Mexico. These bands consist of violins, guitarrón de Mexico, guitarra de galope, vihuela, trumpets, guitars, and accordions. A popular dance originating from Mexico is the Mexican hat dance.
Mexican national soccer team and national basketball team are the most common teams to watch in Mexican free time. Soccer is one of the most common sports in Mexico because there are abundances of fields for children to practice the sport. Another pastime that Mexicans also participate in is watching movies. One of the most famous Mexican producers and movie writer is Guillermo del Toro. He was a producer in the movie The Shape of Water, which was qualified for the Oscar Academy Award of Best Picture. He has also been a producer or assistant producer in the movies The Devil's Backbone, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, and The Book of Life. Salma Hayek is another actress from Mexico who portrayed Frida Kahlo in the movie Frida. Frida Kahlo was a famous artist in Mexican history who married Diego Rivera, who was also a famous artist at that time. One of Frida Kahlo's famous paintings, called The Two Fridas, portrayed her uncertainty between her European and Mexican identities. Frida's artwork can be found in the Museum of Modern Art in New York and the Frida Kahlo Museum in Mexico City. Diego Rivera created the Man at the Crossroads for the Rockefellers and the Rockefeller Center. Diego wanted to portray a man with high hopes for the future and what would be introduced into the man's life. Some of Diego's art can be found in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. In Mexico, many schools have a strict dress code or school uniforms. School uniforms include collared shirts, skirts or jumpers for girls, and long pants for boys. Classrooms are typically like classrooms in America, except their schools have more open windows and ventilation systems. Their school years are divided into primary school, junior high, and high school. School days typically start around 9 in the morning and the children get out of school around 3 in the afternoon. School is free up until college, however, parents may have to buy uniforms and pay for books the children use during classes. One of the most popular universities in Mexico is the Autonomous University, which is attended by hundreds of thousands of Mexicans. The National Polytechnic Institute is another university that students also attend to pursue a college level education.
In Mexico, breakfast is typically a small meal. It's mostly coffee, and sometimes it's served with pastry. Lunch is the biggest meal, and people normally come home from work for it from 2 to 4. This is called a siesta. Most businesses close down for the siesta. Dinner is a small meal and it usually takes place from 6 to 7. Most restaurants in Mexico are family owned and very small. Popular dishes include elote, a street food of corn topped with mayo, cheese, and various spices, chili powder and salt mostly. Churros, a Spanish style donut covered in sugar and cinnamon, mostly served with chocolate. And enchiladas, which date all the way back to the Mayan times when they would wrap small fish in corn tortillas. Enchiladas today are far more intricate and are made with tortillas, chili sauces, cheese, and types of meat.